Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samaya and today I thought I was going to do a bit of a Q&A. I have the questions on my phone. I don't know who sent the questions because I didn't write down usernames or anything. I wrote them all on my phone in the notes section, and so we'll read it from here and we'll see how it goes. I spoke about this in a previous video of mine. I was bullied a lot as a kid in school, and my coping mechanisms mainly was my drawing. I would go very into my drawings and I would create stories and just things that basically wasn't my life, because at that time my life was very, sad, and to me it was like I didn't really have an escape, and I'd have to go to school every day and I knew what to expect. So I would create characters that had better lives than I did and had more fun and that sort of thing. So that was I think that was my main coping mechanism, was my drawing. And the bullying later in life created social anxiety, something that I didn't know about until more recently. And I always felt less than, which was why I hated getting to know people or just meeting new people, basically, because I always felt like I wasn't good enough. And whenever I would be speaking to someone, all I would be thinking is, what do they think of me? Are they judging me? And that sort of thing. And I went into detail in a previous video, which I'll link down below. Now, I'm not a parent, so obviously I don't really know the ins and outs of parenting, and also I don't know if I can give advice when it comes to how to parent or how to help your child, since I don't have one. But I can talk about what I would have liked when I was a kid. Mainly listen to them and validate their emotions, because what they're saying and what they're opening up to you with is obviously making them feel vulnerable. So dismissing them is the number one no. And just kind of telling them that, okay, well, you need to do this or that. That's not really something that would help. I think maybe relate to what they're going through with stories of maybe something you went through, and so they can see that they're not alone in this. That's the main thing, because I thought I was alone in what I was going through, and millions of children get bullied. But obviously as a child, you don't know that. You're just like, well, this is just me. Something must be wrong with me. And so if they come to you with that issue, listen to them and try and get them to feel better about themselves, and talk to them about what you went through as well, because that vulnerability on your part will help a lot. So they won't be feeling that they're the only one that are vulnerable. So if that makes sense. Anyway, that's just what I would have liked when I was going through it. I think just take them to the nearest school, because honestly, the travel, we were taken out of primary school and we were taken to an Islamic school, which was so much further than us. And we'd have to get up really early in the morning, and then we'd have to take a bus, a school bus, and it was just exhausting. And even if you take them to a school with minorities, the same things happen, because I was bullied there as well. So you're not escaping the bullying and that sort of thing. You can't escape that. In an ideal world, there won't be any bullying, but you can't escape it just because you took them to a minority school. And I think they just need to get to know people from all walks of life. So the nearest and best school, and just equip them as best as you can. So maybe they'll have, you know, different friends from different nationalities, and teach them about different cultures and that sort of thing. Because in the end, I made a diverse range of friends. I had friends from different countries, all walks of life, from different financial backgrounds, and it was better for me. Even though it was the nearest school, I still got all of that. And they will meet people through all walks of life anyway, whether the school they go to is very white or minority, it doesn't matter. So I think just take them to the nearest school, save them the hassle of getting up too early and traveling further than they need to for school. So yeah, just take them to the nearest school. Simple as that. Well, I still can. Makeup is just an accessory, and I don't straighten my hair, I have a wig. Okay, it's called a lace front. You need to read up on it. It doesn't matter what hair I have, whether I wear makeup or not. Makeup is an accessory, the lace front is an accessory. It's basically just styling your clothes and that sort of thing. You like the nicest clothes, doesn't mean you don't love yourself. It doesn't matter what I wear, whether I wear makeup, whether I don't. I still do love myself, and people are on different journeys, and there was a time that I did hate my hair. I'm not even gonna lie. But I came to a point where I embraced it, where I was like, you know what, this little fluff over here, that's my hair, and I'm going to take care of it. That's why I got the wig, so I didn't have to straighten my hair and ruin my hair. And I wear my hair when I want, I put on a wig when I want. It doesn't matter. I go most places without makeup because, let's be honest, I can't be bothered. But even if I beat my face every day, it really doesn't matter. It's just an accessory. It's all about how can I enhance the beauty I already have. So I do love myself, just saying. Now this question, I've seen posts and things like that everywhere where a lot of black women don't like when people touch their hair. Now it depends. For me, I don't really get fussed, but if someone just comes out of nowhere and starts touching my hair, then it's like, okay, you wouldn't do that to a stranger anyway. But if it was a friend or someone I knew, if I had my hair in a different style and they were like, oh wow, it looks so nice, I'm gonna be like, thank you, you know? I'm glad you think it looks nice. But when it comes to strangers, obviously that's different. And I think people mainly mean strangers, because there have been people who just approach you. And I literally saw a video of this lady just touching this lady's braids. Out of nowhere, they were in line at a coffee shop or something. And so it happens, and you kind of think, why would you just go up to a stranger and touch their hair? If you ask, that's different. It depends on the person. Me, if you asked, I'd be like, yeah, go for it. As long as you're not gonna mess it up, I don't care, you know? But some people don't like it, and I guess we'd have to respect that. But for me, I'm not offended. I was on the bus once and this little boy was sitting across from me with his mum. He was maybe 4, and he just asked me out of nowhere. He was like, can I touch your hair? And his mum looked shocked. His mum looked like she was ready to grab him and run, you know, just out of embarrassment. And she started like chastising him in Mandarin, because they were Chinese. And I thought, you know, it's a little boy, I don't really care, you know? And so I was like, yeah, you can, sure. And his mom was like apologetic and everything, and I'm like, I don't mind, really. And so he touched it and he loved it. And I don't see that as a problem, whether it's a kid, whether it's an adult. I remember when I was a kid, I used to sit behind my friend and I'd play with her hair. And it's just because I didn't have that hair. And so obviously you want to feel it. Like if I see someone with like silky soft hair, like I'd want to touch it and be like, how did you do this, you know? But it all depends on asking. If you ask and the person's okay with it, then go for it. Personally, I'm not offended if you ask me. But if a stranger does just come up to me and just starts touching my hair, then I'm like, okay, can you like not? Or can you at least ask, you know? So I'm not offended if you ask. I am if you randomly come and touch my hair, yes. Yes, I did. It was hard because I wanted to be one way at school, but then I was expected to be another certain way at home. And growing up, I was kind of ashamed of my culture because I was different and I didn't want to show that I was different. And all the little things I was kind of like, that are different culturally, I didn't embrace when I was outside. I was like, nope, this isn't who I am, no way. And so I was kind of confused as to who I was. I would, you know, obviously act one way outside and different way inside at home. And I wanted to do everything that my friends were doing, but I didn't, because obviously I still wanted to keep the culture I had, and I didn't want to disappoint my parents or anything. And so it was hard, and there was a lot of confusing moments, but you navigate through it. I mean, you get through it, you know, as you grow up, you face different challenges, you conquer them, and it's just a part of life, I guess. And it's something that a lot of kids go through when they're introduced to another culture and they're surrounded by that culture mainly. So it's something that I went through, but I came on the other side. I'm now learning more about my culture and embracing the differences between, you know, the Western and the Somali culture. And I just take the best of both worlds. I think, you know, just take the good in both and then create your own little thing. That's what I do anyway. Thank you. Oh my God. Love from Melbourne. It's hard. It depends on the topic. A lot of the stuff that I talked about, like when I was a kid and that sort of thing, it doesn't really bother me anymore. It's very easy for me to talk about it, what I went through as a child. But the one video that I made about what I went through more recently with one of my teachers at uni, that was hard. I was trying not to cry in the video. I'll also link that down below. But yeah, it depends on the video that I'm making, and that usually shows whether it's hard for me to talk about or not. And a lot of the times, because it's the past, I kind of leave the past in the past. And even though I did have a lot of, like I did have some childhood trauma, I don't know, I talk about it very easily without feeling anything. It's like I'm talking about someone else, and I guess I kind of just bottled it in to that point, I guess. But yeah, some videos are more vulnerable than others. At least I feel more vulnerable than others. But yeah, I mean, and when posting online, obviously it's hard because you're gonna get the haters, you're gonna get people who are obviously going to criticize you no matter what you say or do, and I just delete those comments and things like that. I don't have time for that, honestly. And because right now it's like only a few, because I don't really have like a huge following, and so I can delete them, but obviously later on I'm not going to bother because there's just so much going on. And once you create a platform where people support you, those people will fight on your behalf, and then, I mean, the same way you would do for someone else. And so it's, you know, it's a world where people stand up for each other, and you will always get people who, no matter how vulnerable you are, they'll take advantage of that vulnerability, maybe try and knock you down a bit, but you just have to keep going and just kind of ignore them, you know? Yeah, so that is my Q&A for now. Quite short. I might do another one later on. And if you have any questions, send them through. If you want to see more videos like this, press that like button, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in my next video.